Yo, yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope you are having a good week so far. Podcast time, and this week is my good mate, Josh Butler. Josh, I got to know him probably about a year ago. Properly, we hung out when he was playing in Detroit. Got on really well, ended up cooking him some steak. Obviously, he's kind of killing it and has been for a very long time. He has his own record label called Origins, and I really, really like the music on his label. It's kind of classic house, but with like a modern twist, and very, very timeless house music. I really like it. I wanted to get him on the show because I love having a conversation with him. Enjoy it, people. Without further ado, Josh Butler. And we're live. Josh Butler, how's it going, mate?
Yes, man. Pretty good.
Good. Haven't seen you for a while. When was the last time?
I think the last time I physically saw you, I think it was about a year ago.
Damn, it wasn't it, in Detroit?
Yeah, man. You cooked me a delicious steak dinner.
Cooking steaks. And let me just turn my charger on. I just realized my laptop charger is not even on. Always helps. There we go.
So when did you move back from Detroit?
Moved back in March. So I had my last show of my Open to Close tour in Phoenix. And then I literally left Phoenix to come straight back here. Like, left my car at the airport and everything, and just kind of
Wow.
Yeah. so
And what about the house? Because you had a pretty sweet studio set up in there.
Yeah, it's still there. Did you meet Ryan and Victoria that live there?
Potentially. Do I remember Ryan having a studio in the basement?
Yeah, Ryan's got a studio in the basement.
Yeah.
So him and Victoria, his girlfriend, they still live there. They rent the place off me, which is, I'm super lucky, really. It's like sweet that they have it. So yeah, Detroit's just kind of on hold for me at the moment, just in the countryside, in the middle of nowhere, back in the UK.
Well, it looks beautiful where you are. You know, I think for me anyway, and I'm sorry, Will, one second.
Sorry, mate.
I live like in the middle of two big cities, Manchester and Liverpool.
Yeah.
And so there's quite a lot of countryside here, even though we are relatively close to cities.
It's nice
and having nature on my doorstep has really helped me this year.
Yeah.
You know, I've always been quite outdoorsy anyway.
Yeah.
But the lifestyle that I've started to lead, as you know, you end up in clubs and airports, and you don't get to see that much nature.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's been a huge positive this year, I think.
I think just being out, I went for a walk this morning, did like a beast. I'm like trying to do a training thing like every day. And one of my mates is a PT. So we did I don't know what it was, but we did 15 kg on the back in a pack with just walking up hills pretty much.
Nice, mate.
And like when you're at the top of like Cheddar Gorge, and you can literally just see like the sun pushing through the cloud, and you're like, there's good feelings in this world when you're like when doing our job, but there's not there's nature. I can never get bored of nature. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, same. I've spent a lot of time hiking this year, and you know, when we were allowed to go out and travel, we were going up to the Lake District and peaks. You know, I think maybe most places in the UK, you've always got some sort of like outstanding beauty quite close to where you live. You know, we travel. You've got it right on your doorstep, but we travel for 20 minutes, half an hour, and you can be in the peaks.
The peaks are amazing as well. I used to, my ex-girlfriend lived up near there, and it was just like beautiful. It's like, I don't know, there's just something about it. Do you think it's like kind of, obviously this year's changed your life, but do you think this year has like kind of put a bit of perspective onto like how you're going to live your life in the future? Like, I know like as humans, we're all very good at just like going back to normal, right? Like shows come back in eventually and then we're just back on the road and back doing the same thing. Do you think you're going to like change your life up at all?
Yeah, totally. Because I feel very grateful to have traveled the world, but I haven't seen that much of it, if that makes sense. And from an outside perspective, you'll know what I mean, but for anybody else listening, we go from airports to taxis to hotels to clubs, and then same again the next day. So I think in future, I'm going to really take like 3 or 4 days in each place, especially places in South America. I went to Guatemala a couple of years ago, which was amazing. I'd love to spend more time there and explore the Mayan culture.
Yeah.
So just slowing down generally, you know, I think not doing so many gigs, a healthier balance.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? There's a point where like we're self-employed, like we have to earn money, right? And we have to kind of pay for our bills, but we also earn pretty good money. To us, if you're at a certain level, there's a certain level where you don't earn any money and you're still traveling around the world. But when you get past that point, it's okay. I think that's the thing for me, is telling myself that it's okay to take a couple of days out.
Yeah, man. I think you sort of touched on this in one of your podcasts with James Haskell.
Yeah.
About slowing down and work rate and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously a bit of a workaholic as well.
Yeah.
He's spinning a lot of plates. And it can get a little bit overwhelming doing that sometimes.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I don't know how to do anything different. But I don't know about when you're like writing music. It's like, for me, I have to always write music. And if I've not written a record for say a week, I'm like climbing up the walls.
Yeah. It's like withdrawals.
It's like fucking clucking out. And like, but
I used to get that.
Yeah.
This year has really knocked that out of me, actually.
Really?
I went for maybe 2 months without 6 to 8 weeks anyway, without making any music.
Yeah.
I didn't miss it, which was weird. But I mean, I guess my head was all over the place, a lot of uncertainty. And the last thing that was happening up here was creativity.
Yeah.
But luckily, you know, the last maybe 4 to 6 weeks, I've been making a lot of music again. I'm in there every day, even if it's for 20 minutes, something. Yeah. Just something, a little bit of progress each day.
Such a nice feeling, isn't it? When you're like, just at that level where you feel like you're progressing and you're like moving forward. There's nothing worse than just going into the studio and writing the same as what you did the month before, or you're just writing the same record over and over again. And when you actually get to that point where you've done enough like pissing about and clicking a few buttons and working out something new, and you feel like you're actually progressing forward, there's no better feeling than that.
Yeah, totally agree. And how many tracks do you think you've got that like lined up ready for next year?
I've got my year planned already for next year.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're releasing, I think, 6 records, 6 singles, and then there's gonna be probably a couple of other records on other people's labels.
Yeah, or remixes here and there.
Yeah, but we had 75 records to choose from, and and yeah, spent a few hours going through them with the team. What about you?
I've got nowhere near 75. Let's put it that way. I think I've
yeah, but half of them are shit.
Isn't it? I've got a lot of half-finished projects.
Yeah.
That I'm going to spend the rest of the year finishing, and I think then I'll probably be sat on about 30.
Yeah.
Whereas I'll do a similar process to you. I'll sit down with somebody I trust and pick the best ones.
What's your thoughts on releasing like EPs compared to singles now? Because you're like, tell me if I'm wrong, and I don't want to like, I don't want to say something that doesn't feel right to you, but I feel like your music is it's gone very housey, if that makes sense. It very Chicago kind of traditional groovy house, but like not tech house, if that makes sense.
Yeah, good. I'm glad tech house went away that I didn't want to go in.
Yeah, you kind of but I saw you do that move, and it's like really interesting because you're like making almost like new age Kerry Chandler.
Yeah, I think my style has become quite split over the years, where they're the more like they are more tech house records.
Yeah,
but I would call it more traditionally tech house. Like I think Joris Voorn is tech house.
Yeah, same.
So things like that. I'll release a lot of stuff on Rejected with Joris and Edwin. Yeah. But then I'll also do the big vocal records.
Yeah.
Which I love. You know, I think one big vocal record a year keeps me satisfied.
Yeah.
Because they're quite big projects to go into a studio with one or more singers sometimes.
Yeah.
So, for example, the Han Lee record I did with Defected.
I was just listening to that, actually. I like it a lot.
Really nice one.
It's like classic Defected. That's what I expect from Defected, but you just kind of had your little like spin on it, and it was really nice. It wasn't like
uplifting record, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not a cheesy house record, if you know what I mean. It's just a good fucking house record, which I like. And I think that's what you get. You do really well in your records. You might have a vocal that if somebody else made a record out of it, they're going to try and make it into some big piano house thing, whatever, and just try and copy what everyone else does. And you don't. You just do completely the opposite and turn it into this cool record, if you know what I mean, which kind of makes it timeless.
Well, that's the goal. You know, I have made records in the past that I look back on and think, oh, people say it's not aged very well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've all done that.
And so now that I've got a bit older and I've got more experience producing under my belt, that's the goal, really, to get a record that's still going to sound good in 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be putting things out that you're going to regret.
Yeah, I totally agree. We've all done it,
of course, and you only learn that from experience.
Yeah. So you had a massive hit with what was it called? What feet?
Was it the Bontan mix?
Yeah, the Bontan. Got a Feeling. Yeah, that was huge, man.
That really stepped me up a level. You know, that really gave me a great foundation for my career.
Yeah, how did that kind of come? Because I know you and Bontan are good homies, but it was almost like the Pleasurecraft edit Bontan remix of Josh Butler.
Yeah, it was the perfect mix. I'm not sure how it came about, but basically I got the original signed to MTA.
Yeah,
Chasing Status's label.
Really? I didn't know it came out on MTA.
Yeah. So they invited me down. I mean, I was doing things before that. I'd released on Off Recordings on John's label and a few other little bits, remixes here and there. And then I got a call from Will from Chasing Status inviting me down to London.
Yeah.
To talk about Got a Feeling and a strategy to release it and stuff. And they wanted to know who I wanted to remix it.
Yeah.
And Andy Bontan had just started the name Bontan.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, why don't we give him a go? You know, give it, because I think he'd released with Pleasurecraft as his first release, and so he had a bit of a foot in the door there. And we gave him the stems for Got a Feeling, and he just smashed that remix.
Yeah.
And Pleasurecraft got a hold of it, did their thing with it, and it just took off, man. It was way out of my control at that point. It was just on a journey of its own. It
still is, but it was, what year did it come out?
I think it's 2013.
It was huge, man. It was everywhere. Like, I think there's not many records in the last century. You get one a year.
Yeah,
not even that. Right. And that year was yours without a shadow of a doubt.
It's quite bizarre when you put it like that.
Oh, it's true, man. It's true. Like,
it was being played in takeaways and gyms all around the world,
and still gets played. It still gets played.
Mate, that's paid my mortgage over the last year, really. I mean, that's that kept me afloat during the pandemic.
What's your, from being, I would say, an underground artist, what's your, and tell me if I'm wrong, I don't want to like step the foot, but like, what's your thoughts on having a hit record like that? How important is it to a career?
Oh, it's such a great question, because I took steps to move away from that, to be honest. It kind of worried me that it was taking off so much. And we got a pretty big offer from Sony to re-release it on the major labels.
Yeah.
Which I turned down because I didn't want to be that one-hit wonder guy.
Yeah.
And I knew that it would be very hard to follow that up.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost impossible to follow that record up because it was never intended to be with the success it was. So I don't know how I did it, really. I could never do it again. But I never really came from that kind of background anyway. I was always into underground dance music, dance floor music.
Yeah.
So I took conscious steps to start making underground records again, and I guess releasing underground records, because I was always making them. So I started to release things like No Frills on Mad Tech. I don't know if you've heard that before.
Yeah, I have, a
stripped back dub, basically. Yeah. So I did maybe 3 or 4 years of releasing stuff like that afterwards to really separate myself from Got a Feeling in a way.
It's interesting that, isn't it? Because like you said, Got a Feeling put you on the map, right? It got you to a level of your career, and then you fucking ran away from it.
Yeah. I mean, because it's just not the music I really make that often anyway.
Yeah. So
I didn't want my whole career to be, focused on that.
Yeah, and I get that. If somebody came to you today and was like, I've written a record, or let's write a record and let's do Got a Feeling 2.0, complete new record, but it's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
Probably now at this stage, yeah.
After COVID.
I mean, I think it's been like 8 years since Got Feelings released, 7 years or something.
Yeah.
So, another thing that this year has made me realize is I've actually achieved everything I always wanted to through music.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. I love that. Like, it actually like gives me goosebumps, the fact that you said that, because like acceptance in this industry is, I can only speak for myself, but I know a lot of my mates go through it, but that acceptance of like, yeah, I've actually do all right. We never do that to ourselves.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have said that last year.
Yeah.
Because it becomes quite easy to get caught up in, what's going on around you, I think, when you're getting offers for this and that. And, but yeah, I mean, what more could you want? I've traveled the world multiple times, played music everywhere from Ethiopia to Melbourne. It's crazy, mate. So, I mean, I'd love to do it again.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed we will be able to do it again.
Yeah, we will. It'll be back 100%. So I guess staying on that hit, you didn't really answer the question, so I'm just going to keep hounding you.
Would I do it again?
No. How important is it for a career, in our industry, right?
Yeah.
To have a hit? Because I haven't had a hit like that. I would class that as a hit.
Everybody has, mate. You know, I think there's a minority of people that have. So in short, I don't think it's essential at all.
Yeah.
I think as long as you're a good DJ and consistent with quality releases.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's underground music, isn't it? And for me, that's where it will always be rooted.
Did you ever feel like you had to write another one? Was there a point?
Never, not at all.
Love that.
I never really tried to make another one. Even the second one that me and Bontan did, Call You Back, the second big hit anyway. It's nothing like Got a Feeling, really. It's a one-note bass line, it's not a song, it's just a track.
Yeah. No, I like that. I think what's changed during coronavirus is a lot of people are trying to write music, and they're not. It's not the. I think what I've found, I don't know if you have, but there's a lot of people that are trying to write hits, but it just sounds like they're trying to write hits. And when you try and write a hit, you don't. It's
unless Nile Rodgers.
Yeah, or like Quincy or someone like that. But they probably couldn't write a techno record. Let's be honest.
Great point.
So like, I was listening to a Tom York interview with Zane Lowe the other day. Don't know if you've checked it out, but Zane started doing his like all of his interviews. He's like started doing a podcast series with them, and they're really fucking good. And Tom York was talking about his writer's block and how he kind of deals with writer's block. And for him, how he was like he looks at writer's block as just time off because he's always writing. And I was kind of driving and listening to it, and I was like, Jesus, I don't believe in writer's block. I just kind of work through it until you end up writing something. What do you ever get anything like that?
I guess so. I mean, that 2-month period I mentioned earlier,
yeah,
probably I'd say that's writer's block.
Yeah.
But as you said, Tom York mentioned, I guess I just tried to focus on other things and didn't even go into the studio for that time. You know, if I wasn't feeling it, I just switched off and did something completely different.
Yeah.
And eventually I find that going out for big walks or catching up friends and stuff, anything, man, even having a mix can inspire me again to make music.
Have you ever thought, I don't know if this is something you think of like over the time, but do you ever think what's after DJing?
I used to, yeah. I used to think I'd just naturally go into management.
Okay.
Or there's something more behind the scenes, you know, offering my experience to younger people that are hungry. But now I'm trying not to think that far ahead, to be honest. I'm taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because I think it is strange. Because how old were you when you kind of started touring the world?
I think I was about 23 or 24.
So pretty young, right?
Yeah.
Considering. But I get asked this all the time, and I'm sure you do by muggles, as we call them. But it's like, what are you gonna do after you DJ? And it's like, I don't really know. Like, I know I think I know what I want to do, but I've never like asked mates that are in the industry, like, what are you gonna do? Because I always just think we're just gonna keep doing it.
I think part of the attraction for me and a lot of the people around me in the industry, we sort of thrive off the unknown.
Yeah.
We get inspired by not knowing what's coming next.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of being in the industry is who knows what's going to happen. Because I guess if you look back on the last 20 years of how the industry has evolved from illegal raves and, you know, whatever was going on to like a multi-million-dollar industry with touring companies and agents and, you know, the whole infrastructure. Imagine what another 20 years could do. It's going to change a lot. Yeah,
totally.
So it's ever evolving. So I think because of that, because of the nature of the industry, it's hard to really know what you're going to do next. Because there could be an opportunity next week that wasn't here last week.
Or you could have a fucking massive hit and never worry.
Or that.
It is literally, you just never know, do you? I like that. I really like that because, I don't know, it's just allows you to wake up and be excited every day because you don't know what's going to happen. That's for me. That's what I enjoy about it.
What did you think you would go into after DJing, or you were tired of traveling so much?
There's a couple of things I want to do. I really want to do like fashion. So I really want to have my own fashion label. I want to have a restaurant as well. I don't want to cook in it, but I want to have a restaurant.
Yeah, you are big into your food.
Love it.
I think you'd be a great restaurant owner.
And also, I want to have a studio. I want to own like a commercial studio. But in the middle of, I kind of want to get like an old, either build a like new modern place or an old like farmhouse, and kind of just do
an analog studios type place.
Kind of like Devon, yeah, but not necessarily just electronic music. Or I want to kind of move it towards the whole like band kind of thing. So it's like you have like 2 or 3 rooms in there. People can come and stay, like vocalists can come and stay, bands can come and stay. You have vocal rooms, you have like a live room, you have like a mixing room, kind of do it like that.
Yeah, man. I love that idea.
Because I think
restaurant could be intertwined with this as well.
Exactly. And for me is like during lockdown, I've actually done a lot of sessions in studios with other people. And I think studios are like amazing creative places, but for the studio to get the right vibe in a studio, you have to have like an environment. And I think sometimes when you step out of the studio door and you've got the world around you and it's fucking crazy and it's pissing down with rain, and you've got ambulances and police and you've got homeless guys left, right and center, and like it's just not a nice atmosphere to be around, to be creative.
Yeah.
And I think having something in the middle of nowhere where you don't even get like mobile phone service, and you can just like completely switch off and completely just be in your own head. Some people don't want that for their creativity, but I think when I'd like it to be like more of a project studio. So people come and write like an album. They spend like 3 weeks there and pretty much just write an album.
I actually did a very similar thing a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with a guy called Charlie May.
No, who's that?
He's a little bit older than us. Charlie used to produce for Sasha.
Okay, cool.
So he made a lot of Sasha's early records.
Yeah.
And Charlie now lives on a farm in the West Country somewhere.
Yeah.
And, it's exactly what you're describing, basically. Yeah. He's got a studio in his basement or in this old barn. He has like a little annex where you can stay over for a week.
Yeah.
And I went down with him and just made some music, and it wasn't even really house music. It was a lot of electronica and down tempo stuff. But I find being in that environment really helps me, because there was nothing around, apart from cows and a few farm dogs.
It's just something relaxing about it. I think it allows you to just do what exactly you want to do. There's no outside distractions or anything like that. And I think it's for me, I can only speak for myself. When I'm in, like, apart from New York, I really get inspired when I'm in New York for some reason. I just absolutely love that place. But I think when I'm in a big city, which I love being in cities, but I'm always like, I'm in the city life where you're just always constantly going, always looking at your phone, always looking at Instagram, always doing all the shit that you shouldn't ever be doing when you're creating.
Natural life, isn't it?
Exactly. And I think by going into a studio and just like switching off and being like, okay, I'm just going to write music, just going to see what comes out. It doesn't have to be house music. It doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to sound like this. It's just right.
It is what it is. And I think making music, you touched on it before when you said about hits being sort of manufactured and forced. I think that for me, the best music that I've made, I'm not even really conscious of what's happening.
Yeah.
Time is irrelevant, and I've just zoned out into this other world. And I think having less distractions allows you to get into that place a lot easier.
Yeah. Totally. Do you?
That's it. Sorry.
Do you when you're in the studio, do you like turn off anything? Like, do you turn your phone off or anything like that?
I'll usually put my phone on the side on a table, really? Face down.
Yeah.
And usually got the Wi-Fi turned off on the studio computer as well.
Interesting. I'm terrible. I like I think I write with distractions.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, my phone's always by the side and YouTube is always there, just ready. Ready to annoy the fuck out of me and go into a wormhole of making sourdough bread or something stupid like that. But
yeah, I find, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do get distracted, but I find I may as well not be in there if I'm going to allow myself to be distracted, because I just find it can almost put me down to feel distracted like that, and I'm thinking I'm just wasting time here.
Yeah.
So
I think
more as I've become more conscious of that, I do try and avoid certain things because my phone's always going off.
Yeah, I think when I have a record that I'm really enjoying writing, and you're kind of in it, nothing distracts you. It's just for me, it's like when I'm just writing a beat and not feeling it at all, that's when the distractions kind of kick in.
I hear you. It's easily done.
Yeah.
You know, that's what these apps and Instagram and all that is made to distract us at the end of the day, you know. Have
you seen The Social Dilemma?
Oh, yeah. Heavy.
Fuck, man.
I very nearly deleted Facebook, but I just thought, you know what, I can't do it yet.
I don't look at Facebook. I haven't looked at Facebook for probably about 5 years. But
I never used to. When I was on the road and stuff, I never really did. But this year, obviously got a lot more time on my hands. So
I started Facebook when I used to be like a promoter in Bristol, and I was like one of those people that just added everybody from like a city. So
me both up in there.
So I've got like 4,500 friends that I don't even know. I don't even know them. So I'm like, I don't care what any of you are talking about. So I've never go on Facebook. But Instagram for me, I pretty much stopped Twitter. I put a time limit on social media, which is like 30 minutes a day. And I always go over on Instagram. But I never look at Twitter. Twitter for me I'd say probably from July, when the world started going even more crazier. Like I was like, Twitter is so fucking unhealthy for my head. I cannot deal with it.
It is, man. There's a lot of negativity on there. And I never really used to even post on it, but I have been getting sucked into that recently.
Have you?
Yeah, mate. You do see things that I just can't hold back on.
What got you recently?
Have
you been going political on our asses?
Have a little bit, yeah. Have a little bit.
I love it.
Into a few conspiracies as well.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. Yeah,
I don't want to get too far into that.
I do.
Because even I know that a lot of them are very questionable, but I think it's important to question these things.
Okay, so what are you questioning at the moment? I want to know these.
Things like one world government and
what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's probably a long way away, but things like what Trump is doing at the moment is pretty suspicious.
It's pretty.
There's a lot of things that are sort of lining up, ready for the next stage. I feel like every 10 years there's a big progression in the agenda of governments.
Yeah.
And every 10 years or so, there's a big catastrophic event that seems to strip more of our human rights away little by little.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I'm quite optimistic about it all. I think I totally agree with you. But I also think sometimes it has to get worse to get better.
Yeah.
And I think what, for me, I'm not talking politics necessarily, but politics is a huge part of it. But I think for so many years, we don't know what's going on. We've never, the information just hasn't been out there. It's just kind of like rose-tinted glasses, kind of sweeping it all under the mat. We're not being told anything. Now with social media, now with podcasts, now with everything at our fingertips, we're being told so much fucking information.
I was going to say it's gone from almost nothing to maybe too much.
Yeah.
Because you can find information on any aspect of it. You can find information on anything you want.
Mate, there's people that think the Earth is flat. Like,
not that far down the rabbit.
Not yet. Give it a few more months, mate. You'll be there.
But you know, things like the control aspect for me is a little bit worrying. I understand their argument of track and trace and stuff and cashless societies, but for me, that is there's a lot going on underneath all that. It's not just COVID.
Have you seen Mr. Robot?
I did see. I think I saw the first series. Yeah, but never continued it.
I started watching it at the beginning of lockdown, and I had to stop for 4 months because it was literally what's going on now. It is really? Literally like, not to do with the virus or anything, but it's about a big organization that's ran by one person trying to control the whole world, pretty much. And I'm getting to the end of it. I got one more episode to go of like 4 seasons, but watch it. It's fucking amazing.
I will.
But I agree. But I also think I think social media has created such a divide in this world. And I also think that people aren't actually talking. They're shouting at their phones at everybody else, and they're not having conversations like this, and they're not calling their mates and having discussions with people that don't have the same views as them. And I think for me is like, and I've seen it, and I'm sure you have, people are just surrounding themselves with people that only agree with what they agree with.
Yeah,
and
I do see it a lot as well.
Yeah.
You know, especially at the moment, you know, with some of these anti-lockdown pages that are going on, and I don't necessarily agree with all that. I don't really have like a set view on anything right now because I don't know enough about the situation to form an opinion that's solid enough to stick with. But these anti-lockdown pages, that you know, one of these guys was saying the other day, he's just going to go through and delete everybody that disagrees with him, basically.
Yeah.
So he's created this whole environment for himself that is just echoing whatever he says.
It's so fucking unhealthy.
Surely that's not a healthy environment.
It's like sitting at a dinner table and just having 5 of you. And everything you say, you're like, yeah, I agree, Josh. I agree,
Very
Josh.
short-sighted view of things, isn't it?
There's just no progression in that. You don't progress. You don't learn in life. There's no room to better yourself and better others. Like, generally, out of a very good conversation or a very good debate or argument, whatever, somebody on either side might change their views a little bit. And at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that any of them are right or wrong, but it's because it's just opinions. But that's the issue that I find, is that if people don't agree or don't have the same views as you, your class is wrong, and then they don't want to be around you. And you're like, that's not real life.
No. I mean, life is all about perspective, isn't it?
Yeah.
And altering your perspective, and if other people can help you just even see their perspective on things, that's what you said, it educates you and helps things move forward.
Yeah, and I think it's about compromise as well in life. Like, it's just like a relationship, right? If you're with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, like, you're not always going to agree with them, but you have to compromise for that relationship to get stronger. And it's exactly the same in societies and communities. But also, you being in the country, I don't know, but you might have a bit more of a community around you. There might be a bit more, like for me, there's a lot more of a very local community around here. Like, you know all your neighbors. You can walk down the street and you know everyone. You can walk to the shop and guarantee that there's people there. When you get to these big cities, you don't get that. at all. Like you don't even know the person that lives next door to you. And I think there's something that doesn't promote a healthy society to a certain extent. What's your thoughts?
Definitely not. Well, I don't think that really is. That there's a huge foundation of society missing there, isn't there? I think that places like London are held together by different types of relationships, usually financial relationships. Whereas, like you said, I live in a village as well. I think it's a bit more populated than where you are, but I'm friendly with my neighbours and can go to the shops and see the same people every day, you know. And there's a charm to that, I think.
Yeah, man. I want to live in New York again, but eventually I just want to live in the fucking middle of nowhere. Not have any neighbours, and then just like see the odd farmer and wave at him.
Yeah, in his tractor.
Yeah, and his dog.
It's a nice way of life, mate, I think. I'm a big believer of simple life, and I listen to a lot of reggae music and really respect that way of life, the Rasta culture.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. What's it
about? You know, there's obviously other cultures as well, but living off the land, not overindulging communities is huge.
Unless it's weed, and then just fully overindulge in that.
That's a shout. But you know what I mean. Yeah. I grew up in New Zealand as well.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
I went to school in the north of New Zealand, a small town called Kerikeri. It's a fishing town.
Okay.
And I think a lot of those values come from there as well. Yeah. You know, Maori culture is very similar.
It's beautiful.
So
let's go back to all of that.
Okay.
So are you technically a New Zealander?
I have a permanent residency for New Zealand, but I'm not a citizen yet. You know what? I've actually booked a flight for December.
No way.
Yeah, mate. I booked a one-way flight. I'm gonna
really?
Go back for a few months. Yeah, not forever, but I'm going to go back. My dad still lives in Auckland, you see.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to spend Christmas with him.
Nice.
And probably ride everything out until March. Then reevaluate the world.
Man, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I've only been once and I loved it. But the guy I actually went on a walk with last year, he did the Tirera Trail. So it's like north to south. He ran like 3,000 kilometers north to south.
Shit, man.
All down the North Island and then all down the South Island, all across the mountains and everything.
That's a mean feat, that.
Yeah, it's a killer. So
how long did it take?
56 days, I think he did.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, he's averaging like 50 to 70 kilometers a day. Just hammering it out. Rather him than me.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that.
Why New Zealand? Is your dad from New Zealand?
My dad just always wanted to move there.
Okay.
You know, as long as I can remember. My dad was in the Merchant Navy.
Oh, okay.
When he was a bit younger, you know, probably early 20s.
Yeah.
So he saw a lot of the world and fell in love with New Zealand. And pretty much all of my life, I just remember him singing its praises and always wanted to move there. He got a job opportunity when I was 13.
Yeah.
So we moved over. And at first, I was quite reluctant to go. You know, I had really good friends in school in the UK and stuff. But within 6 months of being there and, you know, settling into school and what have you, mate, it was the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah. Puts a different perspective on life, isn't it? When you go somewhere that completely changes your life up again, and it's different opportunities and things like that. How did you get into house music in New Zealand then?
Well, I was already into electronic music.
Okay.
From being in the UK. And it wasn't a massive thing where I lived. You know, most people in my school were into hip hop.
Okay. Was drum and bass big?
Say again, mate.
Was drum and bass big then?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Drum and bass was huge. Still is.
Yeah, it's massive out there.
I mean, house music is now, 15 years later, which is usually the case in New Zealand. They are a little bit behind with music.
Well, Australia's still playing Men from Down Under, mate, so come on.
But I really like that. You know, I think again that is the charm of the place. You know, they're not. Less is more, maybe.
It's so far away, and it's from anything. Yeah. It's just kind of on its own.
A little bit disconnected from the world, which is why my dad always loved it so much, and that's now why I love it.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to go back there and tour every year. So, you know, I get to see my dad once a year, but only for really a week or 2 weeks. So this time, you know, having an extended period out there, spending time with him is going to be amazing.
Are you going to do studio stuff out there?
Little bits. Yeah, I'm not planning on too much.
Nice.
I think I'm going to really rinse it while I'm still in the UK.
Yeah.
And then, just see how it goes out there. Try not to worry about music too much.
Can you surf?
Not well.
Hey, you got to surf when you're out there.
Can you?
I have a couple of times and I'm bad, but I'd love to be good. When I toured, I've only toured there once, and that was last year. It was actually, I was there a year ago today. And the guy, one of the promoters, damn, it's really bad. I forgot his name.
What city were you playing in?
I can't even remember.
Oh, Will. It wasn't Queenstown, was it?
I think it was.
Yeah. Was he a Spanish guy by any chance?
No. Queenstown. Let me have a look if I've got it. Queenstown.
It might not have been Queenstown that you were playing.
Yeah,
because the main promoter in Queenstown is called Djing. He's from Barcelona originally.
No, this guy's a New Zealander.
All right.
I can't remember, but he took me up on one of the hills, but I was like, so what's your like day-to-day life? And he's like, I wake up, I go surfing, and then I just hang out. I'm like, fucking sweet, man. Like that is a life. And then, where was it that they had the earthquake?
Christchurch.
That's where it was.
Right.
That's where
I played in Christchurch before.
Yeah. And just walked around Christchurch and then played in some like tiny little courtyard area, which was fucking amazing.
Mate, it might have been the same party, man. Me and Sydney Charles played at this little courtyard last year.
Outside?
It was outside, but they had this sort of tarpaulin marquee thing on top.
Yeah, same place. And you got like 2 restaurants either side.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, it was in sort of, I want to say slightly industrial area.
It's in like an alley area.
Yeah. It's got to be the same place.
Tiny, like 200 people max.
We played it on a Thursday night as well.
Yeah.
Quite early on Thursday evening.
Yeah, it's a good fun party that. But there's just something about New Zealanders that is different they're so different to Australians.
Yeah.
New Zealander women are so hot as well. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So are Aussies, let's face it.
Yeah. Their accents aren't as annoying though. I don't know. Do you find Australian?
Well, do you find Aussie a bit annoying?
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Kills me.
I used to find the Kiwi one a little bit annoying actually, but...
Is that because you grew up with it?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think from the UK and, maybe I was just a bit against it at first.
No one ever likes the accent that you grow up with, I think. Like around where I live, where everyone's like south, they're like farmers. I'm like, how the fuck can you speak like that? But then I go up north. I love northern accents. I love it. So it's like, yeah, exactly. Done.
Yeah, well, one of the beauties of having an English accent of any sort when we travel, it seems to go in our favor, right?
Especially in America. I don't understand that in America, though. Like, how much people like the English accent. It's like, what is it? Is it from like...
I think it's like movies, and it's Hugh Grant and...
Cheers, Hugh. One for the team.
Not that I sound anything like him. But Americans don't know that.
No, they don't. You just put it on. I think I don't know who I was talking to the other day. I think it was on a podcast, and they were like, has your accent gone more English? And I was like, probably. My mum would say, because like my mum always takes the piss out of me when I come back, that I've got a bit of an American twang. It's like, it's the last thing I want.
You do tend to pick it up.
Yeah, it's like you have to change the like what you say, like just so they understand you.
Yeah, of course.
Like I never forget, I was at my place in Detroit, and one of my friends was there, and a mate called from England, and I had a full-on conversation with him, and she was like, "What the fuck did you just say?" It was like a whole new language, and you forget how much slang there is in British language compared to Americans. Don't use slang, like.
Yeah,
they actually use proper English. We don't.
I mean, if you heard me and my mate speak around here, it would probably sound nothing like what this sounds like.
It's hilarious, isn't it? I love it. I love that in England you can literally drive an hour and you can't understand the other person.
Yeah, man. You can drive less than 20 minutes here in the Northwest and the accent changes. It's bizarre. You can be in the same town and two ends of the town have different accents.
I love that so much. Right, let's talk about Origins.
Yeah, let's do it.
Your record label. When did you start it? Why did you start it? How have you found it?
I started it about 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
And the reason was I was a little bit reluctant to do it at the beginning, but I started to make friends somehow. I started to make friends with people like Kerry Chandler and Marshall Jefferson, Todd Terry, the old school American boys. And I was just obsessed with the roots of house music.
You just literally rolled off your tongue like three of the biggest legends in house music, just like that.
Well, believe it or not, Marshall Jefferson lives about 30 minutes down the road from me now.
What? He's in England?
He lives in Prestwich in Manchester, yeah.
What?
Bizarre. So that was one of the key factors in all this happening. We started going for Pizza Express every Thursday night, me and Marshall Jefferson, mate.
Is he from Chicago?
Yeah, that's right.
That's like, why the fuck would he go to Pizza Express if he's from Chicago as well?
I think the reason he moved over here anyway is because he was getting so much work in Europe and the UK. It just didn't make sense for him to be traveling transatlantic every weekend.
That's the reason why I moved to Detroit.
There you go.
Pretty much. Makes so much more sense.
So anyway, I launched the label with this Heroes of House series. Well, this amazing artwork designed of like Kerry in this superhero outfit, and check it out if you've not seen them online.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
I'll send them over to you actually.
Yeah, man, please.
So the label, hence the name Origins, started off as a bit of a celebration of house, really, and the roots of the music, because it was kind of at the time the whole tech house thing was morphing into this new sound. Yeah, it's more Americanized EDM sound. Yeah, and so this is probably a key factor in what you started the conversation with. Talking about my detachment from that. Yeah. And then since then, the label's it's continued, and I mean the roots of house thing has slowly, transformed into something more modern. Yeah. But I've had the privilege of releasing like Groove Armada. Yeah, that's amazing. So old legends like that, as well as up and coming producers like Jimmy Switch. Yeah. He's got a very lovely beard as well. Yeah. I don't know, do you know Jimmy?
No, I don't know him.
Jimmy's got one of the best beards in house music.
Has he? Motherfucker.
So yeah, mate, just been it's been a bit of a journey now. Yeah, 4 years. We've released every single month.
Nice.
Quite a range of styles, all within house music.
Yeah. Do you enjoy it?
I do. Yeah, I really enjoy it.
How does it work? Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say that I get sent a lot of music from various people, from bedroom producers to more established DJs. And years ago, I never had anything to do with them apart from play them at gigs. Yeah. So now to be able to invest time and money into these people and help the records grow, it's wicked, mate. Yeah.
Have you ever like not listened to a promo and it got signed by someone else, and then you like listen to it 2 weeks later and you're like, fuck, I should have listened to it?
No, I don't think so. Nothing springing to
mind. Claude did that with Julio Bashmore, Battle for Middle to You.
Oh, he didn't sign it.
He didn't hear it. He didn't listen to it. It was in his sat in his inbox for 2 weeks, and then it got been signed and turned into this massive hit. And Claude was like, he said, from that day I listened to everything now. He just missed on this huge track. Do you release on other labels now?
Sometimes, nowhere near as frequently.
Yeah.
Especially like the last 2 years. Yeah, stopped. I don't know, not stopped, but yeah, just slowed it down really.
Yeah.
I still do the odd release with Defected or Hot Creations or something. Maybe records that sit better on other labels.
Yeah.
You know, that have got a more specific sound.
Do you, when you release music on your own label, like, do you feel that there's more pressure, or do you feel like the pressure's been like taken off?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any pressure. I think if a label is signing it and willing to invest into it, then that usually, you know, makes me feel quite comfortable.
Yeah.
And if I'm putting it out on Origins, my own record, then I have to be pretty sure that you know, I'm happy with it, and
yeah,
you know, I'm not gonna think, oh shit, I wish I'd have changed this or done this before releasing it. So I'll probably there's a track I released about 2 weeks ago called Sunday Sunset.
Yeah, I was just listening to that.
Oh, mate, I did so many mixes of it, so many different versions.
I can relate to you on that one. It's a killer, isn't it?
So I guess that's probably where the pressure is for me. It's just making sure I am happy with it, really.
Yeah, the remix is really nice. So me?
Yeah, mate, yeah. But she did the vocal on it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay, cool. Yeah, she's great. Is she from Seattle?
Well, she's based in LA.
LA.
She's from Korea.
Oh, okay.
But she's a resident at Sound in LA.
Ah, that's why. Yeah, I do know her, but I always thought she was from Seattle for some reason. She's doing pretty well at the moment.
She is, yeah. She's just released on Nothing Else Matters, Danny Howard's label.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on radio nowadays? How influential do you think it is?
I want to say this year is probably more influential than ever. I'm talking from personal experiences anyway. I think I've listened to Radio 1 at night time anyway. You know, Specialist Radio, Danny Howard, Pete Tong, Annie Mac. I listen to that a lot more this year. I think it gives me that sense of community from
because you've not got a job, mate. Got so much time.
And it makes me feel up to date with what's going on with dance music and the culture around it.
Yeah.
Whereas, it is literally because I've not got a job. You know, I would have been on the road otherwise and been distracted. And
I haven't listened.
Doing things.
I've since living in America, I haven't listened to a full show like from start to finish up until lockdown. Really, just don't get the chance, do you? It's like you're busy.
Of course.
But radio was such a big thing growing up for me. Like every night, even during the week, like Zane Lowe probably was for me like the most influential person on radio in my whole life. I would say, just like working at a fish and chip shop, like washing the dishes and listening to Zane Lowe. Like he's introduced me to so much music. But I wish there was still something like that. But I feel like there isn't. And I could be wrong. It's probably just me that's changed. It's not the actual radio. It's not the people on the radio or anything like that. It's just me. I probably just want to not think about music when I'm not working.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's like now it's a job. As much as I absolutely love it as a job, you still need that time out from the job. Do you listen?
I hear you. No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Do you listen to a lot?
A lot of talk radio as well, actually. You know, if I'm just pottering around the house in the day, I'm obsessed with Jeremy Vine. 12 o'clock on Radio 2, mate.
Mate, you know you're old when you're listening to Radio 2. It's like, it's that thing that your parents listen to when you're a kid, and you're like, I'm never going to listen to Radio 2. And then you start listening to Radio 2 and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I get over to Radio 4 every now and then as well.
You're in touchy territory over there, mate.
I'm in deep.
For me, it's podcasts. It's podcasts and audio. I don't read books. I really can't stand reading. But since lockdown, I've listened to a lot of audiobooks, and they've been amazing. It's like just going on walks and listening to an audiobook. I just listened to the Matthew McConaughey. He's got a book called Green Lights, and it's so good. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's just finding out about people's lives. I think that's a podcast as well. You're almost in a conversation, but you're on the periphery. So you're listening to it's almost like you're just listening to a conversation, and
just fit with a book when it's a scripted, history of somebody's life.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I listened to the audiobook of Herbie Hancock.
Oh wow, how was that?
Highly recommend that one, mate. Yeah, he's worked with some of the greats like Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
But as well as his personal life, when he starts diving into addiction and touring and women, it's an amazing insight to essentially a rock star's life at that time.
One of the creators.
Yeah.
Really. Damn. Did he read it as well?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that today.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It makes all the difference when they read it, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's like a Jay-Z one that I tried to listen to, and it's not Jay-Z. And I literally got 5 minutes in and was like, I can't deal with this guy's voice. Like, it's not Jay-Z. It needs to be, if it's talking about somebody's life. Although I listened to the Steve Jobs one, and that was a biography. It wasn't an autobiography. It's a biography. And the guy that read it was the guy that, I don't think it was actually the author, but he somehow read it in a way that kind of felt real. But
I guess it's written in third person about Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Rather than like the Jay-Z one, I imagine is talking about him.
It's not trying to be him, but it's almost like documentary, and you're just like, it's too American for me, really. It's just like, it's like those cooking shows where it's like, just doesn't feel right. This isn't human. So off to New Zealand for the rest of the year.
For 3 months.
When you going?
I leave on the 3rd of December.
Nice.
And I've got a quarantine for 2 weeks when I arrive in a quarantine facility, as they call it, which I think is essentially a hotel room.
Yeah.
So I'll be locked in there for 2 weeks and then be free just before Christmas.
That's perfect.
Yeah, mate. I can't wait.
Have you got any siblings out there or anything?
No. My brother lives in Manchester.
Okay.
I think his plan is to go over there eventually as well. My brother's just been made redundant. So he's thinking, should I go back? And I think if he went back, he'd stay for good.
Really?
Yeah.
It's an attractive life, especially in these weird times, right? Just not knowing and going back to that simple life. It's like, fuck it. Why not?
Man. Growing vegetables on a little allotment, self-sustainable life. I think that's where I see my long-term future anyway.
Yeah. Have you realized that since not earning the amount of money you usually earn through tours and everything like that, have you realized how little you actually need to spend money?
100%. 100%. I mean, I think I was spending most of my money on touring.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
It is weird, man. I was actually looking at bank statements and all that boring stuff the other day, but realizing the majority of what I earned was just going back into to traveling, and living on the road is not cheap.
It's wild because there's a few tiers in our career, and when you're at the top of the top, like the like headlining festival kind of top, there's so much money there.
Yeah.
But even like one tier below, it costs a lot of money for you to just keep touring and touring and touring. And that's the thing that I find is like, I remember like a few months ago, I was talking to my manager and was like, mate, I've only spent 30 quid this week. I'm like, how? How have I only spent like, it's much cheaper to live in England. Like groceries are so much cheaper than the US. But like, you just spend so much more money and have nothing to show for it. And it's not like I would be buying like expensive clothes or fast cars or that's not me. I'm not into, or even shitloads of studio gear. Like my studio in Detroit is nice, but there's no gear in it. It's literally just a table that I made out of a door and that's it.
It was as well. Now you mention it, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
But it's wild, isn't it? Like, I've realized a lot. I wonder if we tour less. And if we tour less, we will have more money.
There's something in there, yeah.
It doesn't sound right, but it's got to be. Like, if it's got to be. Sure.
There are definitely ways to do it and cutting back on certain expenses.
Yeah, I remember the first big tour of America. I was literally like, I would take the cheapest flights because you had to, and like doing 3 flights to get to like one place with like 3 connections, and you like literally spend like 8 hours traveling to get to one place, and you're like, oh.
The first gig I did in America, it was at Don't Sit on the Furniture in Miami.
Classic.
Which, as you know, is a tiny room, so the fee wasn't great, and I only had that one gig as well. But I was buzzing because I was going to America to play music. You know what I mean? So I flew there in the afternoon, played that night, and flew home the very next day. But it was just to kind of get a foot in the door, you know, and. It wasn't about making money.
No, but it's worth it, right?
It is worth it. You know, America's become such an amazing place for me.
You tour a lot there, right? You did,
a lot touring. I was touring. I was probably touring there more than the UK and Europe.
Yeah, same.
I love it over there, man. Especially the West Coast. Like San Diego, I think is one of my favorites.
San Diego is such a beautiful place because it's like. It's still a very small city compared to American cities, and you've got the beach there, and you've got good food there. Everyone's chilled.
Great weather.
A lot of very good-looking people as well, and you're just like, this is a lovely place to be.
Yeah, man. I think that's where I would be based if I lived in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Would you ever move out there?
Say again.
Would you ever move out there?
I did toy with the idea. But I'm not going to rush into that.
Bet you're glad you didn't now.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in California, man. Speaking to friends out there, it's not in a great way at the moment, unfortunately.
Cali's getting dicked by their governor. Pretty much.
Do you think things will change over there after the election?
I
have heard that if Biden did win, or maybe he has won now, I don't know where it's up to. But somebody told me that he'd just keep it locked down.
I got to be careful what I say.
Fair enough.
Because I'm not American, so I don't really have any political views. I don't think Trump is good for the country. I don't necessarily like Trump. I don't agree with his values and his politics. But I also don't think Biden is going to do much better for the country as well. I mean,
that's the way I see it as well.
I think Biden will do a better job bringing people together, which I think is more important than anything right now in America. I think America is so disconnected from reality, and that I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. They're just so opposite the left and the right, and I don't think that's healthy at all. But yeah, I've also heard that if Biden does get in, which I think he will, and I hope he does for the people that want him to be in, which is a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I'm close with out there. But I just don't know how well it's going to handle it. And California is a classic example. It's extremely left, and I'm left as well, but I'm not that left, if you know what I mean. I'm more middle. And I think there's pros and cons to have parts of both, which is, again, I don't agree with politics, don't agree with government. Really don't agree with big government. I think there should be people from both sides. It shouldn't be sides. It shouldn't be left and right. It should be everyone, and from all different ways in life, like experiences.
Because that point in the middle that you're on about is the healthy place for society to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally.
So there needs to be, if these people on the left and right want to have these opposing views, there needs to be somebody in the middle to, get the best out of their arguments.
I totally agree, and I think that's the thing with Cali right now, is that the governor is so far left which is absolutely fine if you lock shit down, but you also have to support people. If you're telling people they can't work and they're not allowed to open their businesses and they're not allowed to do this, they're not allowed to do that, then you have to support them. You have to give people the support so they can pay their bills. And I still know friends that are still trying to get unemployment and they can't even get through because you have to call a fucking phone number. And like, there's people that have extremely successful businesses that have just been told they have to close down, and then there's no government support at all. And for me, that's not right. And I think that's why a lot of people are moving to Texas and moving to the more Republican places because
there's more freedom.
There is more freedom, and yes, the government support still isn't there, but you're not being told you can't open your business. And I think at the end of the day, like, when you're employed and when you employ lots of people, you have this responsibility to the community around you. And the responsibility is that you're giving the community a service, and you're also paying taxes. People that are working with, the people that are working for you are paying taxes. You're paying their wages. You're paying for their family. You're paying for their kids to go to university. You're paying for like life for other people. And when that gets taken away, you take that community away. And I think we're so lucky in the UK. And I don't know your views on it, but I've got so many friends that have been furloughed and can still pay their mortgage and can still do life, if you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong, life's not the most fun for people. The music industry is a little bit different. But also that's the joys of being self-employed.
Yeah. I think I mostly agree with what you're saying. One of my close friends, though, he had a quite successful business in the more entertainment, like wedding entertainment sector. I mean, he's been completely fucked over.
Completely.
30 or 40 staff, all made redundant.
Yeah.
There's nothing left of his business, and he's looking into different career choices now. So things like that they're quite disheartening, because it shouldn't have got to that stage, because there will be people who want to get married again. So I think there should have been more support for people like that.
Yeah.
From a personal perspective, I've been okay. I've managed to get furlough, and it's kept me afloat.
Yeah, I think that's great that you can. And like, I've also got to remember, like, we're coming from a very, I don't really like using this word because it just feels a bit woke, but we come from a very privileged lifestyle, if you know what I mean. Like, we have a very privileged life and maybe a very privileged perspective on life compared to what others kind of have. But I also think the whole world is in this, right? It's not just America and England, it's the whole world. And I think there's a togetherness about it that I think will bring people, I hope will bring people together. Fingers crossed.
I think you're right. I do think it's going to take a few years for people to get over the political divide that's been created.
Yeah.
But more and more people do seem to be realizing, that people are stronger with togetherness and the same views.
I hope so. Because I don't know about you, but I found the politics in the UK is starting to turn more and more how it is in America with polarizing views and everything like that. And I just think it's really unhealthy. I don't know what you think.
I think politics is unhealthy anyway.
I think also that what it is that people put so much time and effort into it of their own personal life, and realistically, whatever they say, whatever they do is not going to make any change to politics, really.
Yeah, exactly, mate. They're going to do what they want to do anyway.
There's been no politician that's done what they've said.
No, they've made it quite apparent that they're just going to make their own rules.
Yeah, and I think if you can accept that in your head, that, you know what, these fuckers just don't do anything anyway. Like, whether they're on the left, whether they're on the right, whether they're in the middle, or whether they're fucking on Mars, they're still not fucking doing anything.
Yeah. I heard a quote the other day from a guy on YouTube, and he was talking about the situation and stuff, and he said, don't worry about what's going on in the White House. Worry about what's going on in your house.
So true, man. So true. Because no one gives a fuck about what's going on in your house.
Only the people are living it.
Simple, innit? It's like no one cares. And why? So why are we caring about? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong to look at it like that.
I think you have to be aware of what's going on, especially at the moment, because the politics is so important. But I think that you shouldn't let it consume your life. Some people do. Obviously, the people that sit on Twitter all day, keyboard warrioring.
I feel sorry for people like that. Sorry if any of you are listening to this. Stop it.
If that's you, go out for a walk. Put an audio book on and go for a walk.
Go cook for your nan or something. It'll make you feel better. Right, mate. We've just done an hour and 15 minutes. Let's wrap it up.
What's the plan for the rest of the day?
I've got to do a radio interview for somewhere in like Sweden or something like that. And then I'm going to bake some bread. What about you?
Beautiful. I'm going to go for a walk. It's a pretty nice day here.
Nice.
And then I'm going to record a mix for Spy Bar.
Oh yeah, they're doing the Save Spy Bar thing.
That's it, exactly. They're trying to raise money to keep the place, going, really. So,
how good is that club?
It's one of the best.
Fucking one of the best
in America. There's so much history there as well.
I always
big crying shame if that place closed down.
I really hope it doesn't. They asked me to do one, but I can't. I don't have any decks. I don't have anything around here. So
fair enough.
But yeah, I love playing. What is your favorite place to play in America?
Ooh, such a good question. What club or maybe it'd be a festival. I think it might be Nocturnal Wonderland Festival.
Oh, when did you do that?
I did it 2 years, 2017 and 18, I think.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Why was it so good?
I think just the location of it, man. It's
beautiful, isn't it?
It's in the countryside of northern LA. I can't remember the exact name of the town, but the way they build all the props for the festival and the stages and stuff, it's pretty epic, man.
Insomniac just do festivals on another level of festivals, right? They
really do.
It's an experience rather than just a festival. And although there's like some great music and some really shit music, that's just festivals, right? But
of course it is, yeah.
It is. Have you done EDC? Yeah.
No, not yet.
That place although I'm not a huge fan of EDC because it's in Vegas and I don't really like Vegas, but it's unbelievable. You'll go there and you're like, what the fuck? Where am I? Like, this is like, it's like a whole new world.
It's the scale of things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huge. It's like the stages were massive, man.
Yeah. They are huge, aren't they? It's kind of scary. Like colossal kind of, you're like, this shouldn't be just a DJ pushing a few buttons in the middle. In fact, you can never see the DJ because there's so much production around it that you're just the tiny ant in the middle of the stage. But
that's it. And I think being from the UK, I've never really been to festivals I've never played at festivals of that scale in England.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, that's what I buzz off in America.
Have you ever done Glastonbury?
Yeah, mate. That's probably the biggest UK thing I did. I played in Block 9.
That is the biggest thing in the UK, though. Let's be honest.
It was so good. I played the first set of the whole week on that stage. So it was about 4 p.m. on a Thursday. I didn't expect anybody to be there, but because there's no music anywhere else, people were gathering outside the stage and waiting, and it was packed even before I played my first record.
Really?
Yeah. That was pretty mega.
Glastonbury is literally like 15 minutes away from my house.
Oh man! Have you been walking around the site at all?
I used to go every year with my dad. It's like not far at all, and it's still on the bucket list to play. And I've just never been booked to play, but I always get really jealous of people that play because I'm like, why haven't I fucking played? It's like down the road, but I can't wait till the day I do.
I got sent something the other day saying that they was preparing for next year, and that it was like 99% certain it's going to go ahead next year.
I personally think it has to go ahead.
Yeah.
Festivals. I think the beginning of the summer, probably not. But
by Glasgow time,
by spring, late spring, beginning of summer, I think there has to be talks of shows happening.
Yeah.
Otherwise, our industry, mate, I can't. I'm so excited. This year's flown by. We've done 9 months of isolation, 9 months of no shows.
I know, mate. It has. It's flown.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty good summer, to be fair. All things considered, it's been really nice weather.
Yeah.
Got to spend a lot of time with family and friends, which I never normally do over summer.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because we're always touring, especially during the summer. Summer's crazy season for us. And it's the time when everyone back home enjoys the summer, and like summer evenings in England. I don't care what anyone says. I think they're personally the best in the world. Just like, it's just amazing because English people are so happy when the sun come out, and it's just amazing. But we don't ever get to like spend time here or like see friends and family when we're on the road. So it's been really special for me. It's just like my parents live next door, and my like niece and nephews can come round and just like hang out. It's just super nice. Like we would never have been able to have done that. I think it's important. I think most people I've spoken to in our industry have kind of had that, where they've been able to just like enjoy some time off and not feel guilty about taking time off and not earning.
Yeah. You've got to hold on to the positives.
Yeah, totally, man. Right, let's wrap it.
Yeah, man. Really good to speak to you.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, man. How can people follow you if they're not following you, etc.?
All the usual socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud.
At Josh
Spotify.
Butler.
Yeah, Josh Butler Music for most of them, and I think Facebook is just Josh Butler. But just give it a search; you'll find me.
Cool, mate. Keep safe. Have fun in New Zealand, and I'll catch you soon.
Yeah, man. Speak to you in a bit.
Big love, dude. In a bit. And that is a wrap. Really enjoyed that one. Hope you did. If you did, please give us a little review in the reviews button or in the comments or wherever you're listening. Give it the thumbs up. Share it with your mates. Do all of that. Keep safe, and I'll see you soon.